Hey, what is up, everybody? Let's hop into yesterday's recap. Yesterday, our only hit yesterday was Giannis over 33.5 points or 32.5 points. Obviously, he was unstoppable yesterday. Should have just went with Giannis and Tatum again. It's going to get really repetitive as we get towards the end of the NBA season, right? Because there's less players and there's less teams playing, right? So we're going to get a little bit repetitive. I'm definitely not going to make that mistake tomorrow. We're going to definitely rock with Giannis and Tatum tomorrow, as well as Marcus Smart. I had Marcus Smart written down on my notes over Jaren Jackson yesterday, but I outvoted myself and played Jaren Jackson instead of Marcus Smart, and that was a dumb one because I think Marcus Smart his line was 14.5. I think he had 14 in the first quarter yesterday, so definitely should have played Marcus Smart yesterday. It is what it is. So yeah, Jaren Jackson doesn't hit, has 12 entering the third quarter, doesn't score again for the rest of the game. He really got obviously overshadowed by Dillon Brooks having the game of his life. Career high game for Dillon Brooks yesterday, took a lot away from Jaren Jackson. And then Steven Adams had 6 rebounds in the first quarter and got injured in the second, missed like the entire second quarter, and then ends up only grabbing about 8 rebounds. So injury really stopped Steven Adams, so that's unfortunate there. So Dillon Brooks has the game of his life, takes away from Jaren Jackson, and Steven Adams gets injured, doesn't play the entire second quarter, and he comes up short in his rebounds. But today we got nothing but USFL plays and hockey play. No NBA basketball today, so let's get into it today. Let's get it. Real quick, if you guys are new to Underdog Fantasy, make sure that you there's a link down in the description I have that automatically takes you to the App Store where you can download Underdog Fantasy. Also throws in my Take My Shot code when you guys sign up for that. So when you make your first deposit, it helps me out big time, as well as it gives you a 100% deposit match up to $100. So if you throw in 20 bucks, for example, you'll get actually 40 bucks, and they'll give you another $23 just to bet on for funsies, a little risk-free bets for fun. And so that is always nice as well to get those risk-free bets. Also helps me out, like I said, big time if you guys use my code TAKEMYSHOT. Because all my picks every single day are always going to be Underdog Fantasy picks. I think it's the best player prop betting app out there. With that being said, now let's get to today's picks. All right, baby, today's lock of the day will be coming from the USFL. We're going to go back to my New Orleans Breakers, baby, because they're the best team in the USFL. And we're going to go to their running attack. We're going to go to Mr. Jordan Ellis, baby, the best running back in the USFL. Averaging about 86 yards per game is Jordan Ellis. Today he's going to take on a pretty solid New Jersey Generals team. Now, this New Jersey Generals team hasn't given up a lot running the football over the course of the season. But they give up 80 yards to the Maulers starting running backs. They split carries, do those Maulers backs. And that's not what they do with Jordan Ellis and company. They give him the majority of the carries. He gets 20 carries a game. That's the #1 in the USFL by far. Mark Thompson of the Houston Gamblers gets the second most carries with 16.8 a game. But they just give the ball to Jordan Ellis a lot. 86 yards per game is what Jordan Ellis is sitting at right now. And they've got his line set at 67. This one should be a competitive game between these two teams. The New Jersey Generals have a 3-1 record along with New Orleans Breakers. They both have 3-1 records. Should be a pretty solid game between these two teams today. So should see a good combination of running and passing between these two teams. So I like Jordan Ellis over 67.5. He's hit his over in his line every single game this season. We're going to continue to ride that over. Give me Jordan Ellis as our lock of the day over 67.5. Also, we're going to be going to the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Breakers. Give me Kyle Slaughter today over 214 yards passing. His line is fluctuating a lot right now. They keep pulling and putting him back on the board. We're just going to go with the over for him today. He's averaging 267 yards per game on the season. I mean, he's the league's best quarterback. He's the only one that's passed 1,000 yards passing, and he's even remotely close in the USFL. The New Orleans Breakers have the best passing attack in the USFL. Today they're taking on the New Jersey Generals. I just simply haven't seen a quarterback like Kyle Slaughter yet. So I went back and I looked at a couple of their games. The Pittsburgh Stars were able to pass for 230 yards on the New Jersey defense. But they just really haven't really faced a whole lot as it comes with quarterbacks so far up to this point. So I'm not going to take into account really a whole lot of what they've played so far. In this case, this is going to be more of a case of me just trusting Kyle Slaughter in this instance. He's averaging 267 yards a game. He's gone over in every game but one, I believe. So I trust Kyle Slaughter in this one. Again, they have the best passing attack in the entire league. So we're going to go over on Kyle Slaughter's 214.5 yards passing today versus the New Jersey Generals. Just a quick note, I did really look into the New Jersey Generals team. They are a gadget offense. I haven't watched them play it all this year, but looking down through their stats, I mean, their quarterback is like 3rd in the league in rushing. Their running back averages like 50 yards a game. Their second string running back averages like 50 yards a game. They do not pass the ball, and they run 2-quarterback system. They're a gadget Wildcat offense. From what I got from looking through their stats, they didn't have a dominant player. I mean, you could say Deandre Johnson, their quarterback, is kind of a dominant player in their offense, but he throws the ball, he runs the ball, then they bring in another guy to pass the ball. They don't really pass the ball that much, and they run the ball a whole lot. So they have an interesting offense. You could definitely go over on any of their guys, and it really probably wouldn't be a bad move. I would say the best bet, if you want to bet on the New Jersey Generals, is going to be over on Deandre Johnson's 123 total yards. He's the guy that I said gets about 12 carries a game as well as passes the ball at times. So he's definitely a guy that can be a total yardage kind of guy. I'd like to have him up there with. I could definitely see him breaking one free or getting a bigger completion to get up into them totals. But as far as their other guys, Trey Williams, Darius Victor, they all get even carries. They all are averaging about 50 yards a game right now rushing. They're one of the best rushing attacks in the league. I'm assuming they're probably the best, honestly, from how they run their offense. Kevontae Turpine, if you guys wanted to know, has hit his over twice and hit his under twice. So obviously, like I said, they don't pass the ball a whole lot. They're a heavy rushing attack offense. But the last 2 weeks, Turpine has kind of been their main target through the air, so he wouldn't be a bad option. But I am going to personally stay away from it just because they have so many guys they give the ball to. You don't really know who's going to get the over. So I'm going to go ahead and stay away from that team as far as their lines, but I just thought I'd throw that out to you guys just so you know. So I have two for this last play of the game. We're going to head over to the NHL for some Game 7s. I got two plays here that I'm really kind of liking a lot. Evander Kane, obviously one of the best players on this Edmonton Oilers team. They're in a Game 7. It's going to be in Edmonton. Got to close this one out, and they've got some of the best offensive players in the league. This Edmonton Oilers team does. Evander Kane's over 3.5 shots, I feel like is a really solid play. Obviously, like I said, he's one of the most aggressive guys on their team as far as offensive shot taking goes. Also plays a lot of ice time. Nearly touches about 20 minutes on ice every game, sitting around that 18.5 minutes every single game here for Evander Kane. I'm also liking Conor McDavid just points, over 1.5 points. He's hit over 1.5 points every single game at home this season. The only reason I kind of am reluctant with Evander Kane is just because at home, for some reason, he just isn't as aggressive, and Conor McDavid at home is aggressive. He's hit 2 points in every single game at home this season versus the LA Kings in this series. Also, it's pretty aggressive with his shot, 3 shots, 2 shots, 4 shots. He's out there taking shots, and he's also helping get those shots. So Conor McDavid over 2 points, I feel like is a really solid play too here. We'll go ahead and take Conor McDavid over 2 points, over 1.5 points today, over Evander Kane's shots. Just because Evander Kane, he takes a lot of shots, don't get me wrong. 6 shots, 5 shots on goal, but those were in LA. At home, he just hasn't been as aggressive for whatever reason, and Conor McDavid has. So we're going to go with the aggressiveness. Also, Conor McDavid in one of those home games to touch 25 minutes of ice time. So definitely getting up there, 19 minutes, 55 seconds of ice time. So he's definitely getting up there in ice time. So he's on the floor, he's on the ice a lot. He's taking a lot of shots. He's helping get a lot of shots. So he's hit the points total every single game at home this season. So we're going to go with Conor McDavid over 1.5 points today is our last play of the day. All right, guys, need a good day, need a bounce-back day, need a solid day. So today we're going to go with our lock of the day, Jordan Ellis over 67.5 yards rushing. Just too low for the league's leading rusher. He's just too dominant on the ground to keep him this low, even he averages 86 yards per game. Give me Kyle Slaughter, the league's best passer, over 214 yards passing. Again, just too low for a guy that averages 267 passing yards a game. They did this to him last week where they put him on 198 passing or something like that. He threw for 300 yards. I don't know why they keep putting him so low. And last play of the day, give us Conor McDavid over 1.5 points. He's their captain. He's the dominant player in this offense. He's hit the over every single time in these points totals at home in this series. So we're going to go with Conor McDavid. Trust the old solid man. In this Oilers offense, over 1.5 shots, or over 1.5 points today to round out our perfect 3 sled. All right, boys, that's going to wrap up today's video. No NBA, so we went over to the USFL and the NHL. We're going to get back at the green today. Got to trust the process. Our USFL plays this year have been really, really solid, so I was waiting for these USFL plays to start coming in so that we could start hitting some solid plays. USFL tomorrow as well. Game 7's tomorrow for the NBA too, so that'll be fun. So hopefully we can get back into the green today. Solid plays today. I love playing the USFL. Love playing football. It's definitely where my best bets are from. And with that being said, guys, I'll wrap up today's video. Catch you tomorrow. Peace.